Hello everyone and welcome back to the garage. Guess what? We're gonna do the most exciting thing on this channel that I've ever done before. Brakes! So for the 10th time or so, whatever it is, let's entertain the entire world with some more brake repairs on a truck. So here's our patient for the day. As you can see, worn tires right off the bat. I think this is a 2011 or a 2010. One of the two, I can't remember. It's a 3/4 ton Silverado. It's got the 6-liter gasoline engine in it. And the complaint was grinding noise while braking. So, want to take a guess at what that could be? I think it might be brakes. Also, you'll notice as we start this thing up, there's a little exhaust leak from one of the manifolds. Very faint, not the easiest to hear, but wow, look at that. Yeah, 202,969 miles. So let's go take it for a drive and verify the complaint. Okay, I don't know if you can hear that with the camera being right there, but I can hear it already and you can feel it. The vehicle is just kind of shaking as the brakes grind, so let's get a little speed here. It's definitely grinding. I mean, the brakes are holding good, but there's a lot of grinding noise. And look at this, everyone. Non-vacuum actuated hubs for a 4-wheel drive system that actually works. Wow. See, Ford, you need to take some lessons from these guys here at Chevrolet about this. Honestly, I don't know what the whole point of the vacuum actuated hubs are. Maybe that's so there's not as much wear and tear on the front axle and the components there. I don't know. But I've seen plenty of GM trucks that don't have that system with no problems. I don't know I don't know what the point is behind the vacuum actuated hubs, but anyway, if somebody does, educate me. Leave a comment in the comments section. I would love to know what the point of vacuum actuated hubs on Ford vehicles are. But why do I need 4-wheel drive just to get into my garage here? Well, the reason being is if I drive over this ramp here in a heavy truck like this where you got that heavy engine sitting on the front, it will actually slide this ramp all over the place. It'll slide this little lift across the floor. So when you have 4-wheel drive engaged, you have the front wheels pulling, helping it to get on the lift here and not slide it all over the place. So that's the point of engaging 4-wheel drive on a vehicle like this, to get it in the garage. Now, of course, this is a pretty heavy truck. I had to use my cross braces with the little arms on there so they can contact the frame. But that being said, it's still strong enough to pick the truck up. You just got to be careful when raising big vehicles like this. So as I walked around the vehicle and started spinning the tires, it became very evident that our problem was in the right front. If you look on the outside surface of the rotor here, it's good. The pad depth is also good. I'll go around to the inside and you can see the surface of the rotor has been compromised. So we've got some metal on metal there. Now, I don't know if it's caused by a sticking caliper or if it's just wearing unevenly, if the slide pins are stuck. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here yet. So let's take this apart and look into it. So here we go, guys. Here's what I found. As expected, one pad completely worn out, completely gone. Metal on metal contact resulted in a damaged face of the rotor here, so we're gonna have to put a new one on. I've got a new rotor right there, so that's ready to be installed. It's interesting though, because the other brake pad was nowhere near as worn. And what I found was when I took these little pins out that the caliper slides on, they didn't slide very well. So I'm going to lubricate the slide pins here and make sure everything slides well on the caliper bracket. And provided that it does, we should be okay. Obviously, I'll replace the pads on the driver's side, but the rotor doesn't need to be replaced as it wasn't compromised like this one was. Here's the new rotor and the brake pads. Always make sure you put grease on the contact points of the pads to the caliper bracket, so that way they slide evenly. They don't bind up and wear prematurely. And here is what the finished project should look like. The caliper should slide freely on the bracket, as you can see. Make sure all your dust boots and shields are in place and all the bolts are tight.